haven't missed one time. Yeah. That she takes away mine, and I know like my classes are pretty yeah.
It snowed.
Diet.
I was feeling so good because the summer was like 89, 90, 95.
Put my information in my phone.
Are we from Craig?
You know when you're ready to switch there?
I get so distracted.
So when that snowed,
I have to sit
they tried to get us to
My honest instead of
I have.
yeah, it's niggas more than that. It's everyone has me. That's oh.
Thank you. Are you going to see any of the evolution next day? Okay, I got
They will be AC.
Yeah.
There's that money for this is great. West Columbia, big one in West Columbia, right? Where they got random houses. Yes, yes. And have another location accounts, so they will attend. Starts in the faces. So, my nephew, my Bible is.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
And then with babies that's flood.
Most people, go.
Yeah, I'm just walking this up.
Okay.
Right now, I expect to be down here. I expect to be in the
My wife is actually, my ex-wife is actually
yeah, you're right.
so I'm curious about for me, it was kind of
I'm gonna get coffee.
yeah, it's just great. So I love that. Try more about it.
It is interesting out there and how much more they want to talk to us.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, okay, you can't answer that. But that's, okay, yeah. I'm looking at self-publishing.
I think for me, it's I'm looking at
All right, good morning and welcome. Please stand in if you are already a member with us so that we can take some attendance and let them know that we are alive and thriving. If you are new here, please stand in and register, and that will also help us take attendance and then put you on our email list so that we can stay in contact with you for future meetings. So we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. I'll let everybody scan in and then we will get going.
So,
Here's my card.
card. What about that? Because honestly, initially, you're beginning to
Williams,
pay
Taylor Simon.
and then we start talking about like hard right. But it's great.
So my dad's people aren't from Florida. They're from Darlington, Timmins. Okay.
Taylor was upstairs at Reed Freeland. So
Sometimes we do
Diane
that
and I
to
met
be
at Reed
pretty
Freeland.
Oh,
She's a children's
But
author.
but it could also be
She does these cute readers for kids. Yeah. And she does her own digital artwork. And so she does them incredibly economically. And then it's cute as a book.
This belongs to you, makes sense.
Okay.
I don't want to forget about it.
Yeah, is she coming to you too?
I could not stop reading this. I looked at last week.
Okay.
So I looked at last week.
You're a humor perspective.
Yeah, whatever.
I told him, I said, I like
Yes.
Alright, kids, last chance. Go ahead and scan if you haven't scanned, please, and thank you. We're gonna get started. We're gonna do some housekeeping, and then we're gonna get right to Mr. Russell.
Yeah.
I get it.
Alright, excellent. Thank you and good morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. 1 Million Cups, our mission is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new, seasoned, and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. We are a national organization, and every Wednesday at 9 a.m., there is a 1 Million Cups presenting and meeting throughout the U.S. Our closest chapter is in the Charleston area, so if you're ever down there, you can go check out one of their meetings or go to the national website to see all of the other locations as well. We have some key pillars. We give presentations, not pitches. We make authentic connections, not networking. And we're radically and intentionally inclusive. But most importantly, we are run for the community, by the community. And what I mean by that is these are the generous folks who donate their time, energy, and money to bring this to you every Wednesday. So we are grateful to the USC Technology Incubator for allowing us to use their space. And we are also grateful for the businesses below that provide you the coffee, our social media, everything that is involved with keeping this organization up and running. And all they get is a lousy t-shirt. So say thank you to some of the gentlemen here in the back who are wearing some of them today. Our local programs, so we have been here for over 10 years. We're held weekly on Wednesday mornings. We have had over 500 entrepreneurial presentations, and we also offer educational topics like finance, future frame, networking, and local resources. We usually have one presenter with a 6 to 10 minute presentation, and we follow that up with Q&A from the community. We also give Made It sessions with folks and businesses coming back who have made over $1 million, and they love to share their stories with us. I've got July booked for a couple of Made It sessions, so our summer series is going to be hot, no pun intended. Always, we are free, we are open to the public, and we have free coffee in the back, so please, hey, help yourselves. Okay. Here we go. Oops, I want to skip over that. Call for presenters. Okay, if you are interested in presenting at 1 Million Cups, I'm taking applications now, and I am actively booking for August and September. Remember, it is not a sales pitch. It is not an investor pitch. The room is not filled with your customers. It's filled with your colleagues. The goal is to have people understand what you do and some of the challenges you have had in building your business. We like to hear from companies that are new to about 5 years old and who are open to community engagement. Also, if you just got an idea and you want to share your idea with the room, we love to have those as well. All industries are welcome. You can check out this link here, or you can come see me directly after the presentation. If you aren't a part of this, please scan and join. We have 2 Facebook pages. One is the 1 Million Cups page, which is kind of our national broad page, and this one here is our little homegrown 1 Million Cups Columbia page. So this is the page we'd like to have engagement on. If you have questions or you want to share resources, please go here to do so. I'll give everybody a second to get in there. Thank you all. Upcoming presenters. So next week we have Miss Robin Ford. She started a company called Grace Co. They do very baby products for sensitive skin and whatnot. She's going to be talking about her journey next week. After that, we have the lovely Aubrielle. She's going to be talking about transformations, behavioral solutions. She offers like ABA type of training for folks with special needs. She's going to talk about her journey. Clayton Skursky is coming on the 14th to talk about his job, company that he's building, Soda City Outdoors. So it's not working and running yet. It's a new company he's starting. And then the Michelle Tillman will be ending our month with her company Fertility Freak. And she is already hot out there. If you follow her on TikTok or Instagram, she's already someone who's very successful with what she does. All right, and without further ado, please help me welcome Mr. Russell J. Earle Jr. He's the owner and founder of Bending Corners, and he's going to share with us his journey about bringing this publication company to life. Thank you, Russell.
All right, good morning, how are y'all?
Good morning.
Good, good, happy to be here. I got 6 minutes, so let me see if I can get squared away here. Oh, you got a clicker, Miss Terry?
Terry, you got a clicker?
I got a clicker. Here we go. Hand that over. Turn it on. Take the thing out. And just point it in my direction.
All right, so as you said, my name is Russell Earle Jr., and I'll be sharing my experience with you all today, my entrepreneurial journey. So just to get everything out of the way, so I'm from here in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm a graduate of South Carolina State University with a background in computer science. I'm also audio engineer certified from Midlands Audio Institute. I'm currently in IT, but most importantly, I am an entrepreneur and a book lover. So my journey started earlier on. At a young age, my mother got me into books. I was the only child, and she taught me about books a lot early. I was, influenced by her. She's a writer herself, and it kind of rubbed off on me. I remember enjoying going to like book fairs and learning about Captain Underpants and Harry Potter and all this stuff. And I was really captivated just by story and books and everything. And I even tried writing a book of my own in middle school, but kind of fell short because I just didn't have anything to talk about. So I continued my IT journey, as I moved forward. And in 2015, everything kind of changed for me. I ended up doing something that was a bit unconventional, and this is where my entrepreneurial journey kind of really started for me. So I ended up leaving my job, buying a one-way ticket to South America, and went backpacking for 6 months. During these 6 months I learned so much about who I was, my insecurities, flaws, and a lot of lessons and values that I learned there I take with me to this day. It made me hungry. It made me want to learn a lot more. A lot of things I wasn't exposed to at a younger age, and I just felt like I didn't have. But this trip here really inspired me to want more and for my life. So once I got back, outside of staying back home with my mom and applying for jobs, I did what I did best, and that was reading. So I got into every type of book, you know, marketing books, entrepreneur books, you name it. And I'm trying to come up with some idea of what would stick with me. I tried doing a music label one time. That wasn't quite it. I thought about doing one time a studio, a mobile studio, using my audio engineering background, but that wasn't quite it either. And then one day I had a conversation with my grandmother. She said, you know, you should probably write about your experience that you had. And so I realized I had a story to share. Let's see.
Point it this way, Russell.
There we go.
And so during this time, it took me 10 years to like put everything together, like from learning how to, networking and meeting people. I continued my education. I took a creative writing course. I participated in an online university called Earle Leisure. Went to conferences called Invest Fest, pretty much pulling from different resources in order to make this idea come about. All while still doing my day job. I worked at Edible Arrangements, and if you want to be put to the fire, you work at Edible Arrangements during Valentine's Day, and you know that'll make a man. But yeah, all while working, still just trying to learn, staying at home, and you know a lot of days just kind of felt like I felt really down, you know. But I continued it, and the reason why I stuck in there so long with it, because I didn't have an example of myself of seeing anything like this. You know, it's a story you don't hear of too often, especially somebody, you know, from my community. You don't hear about anybody leaving their job and going, you know, backpacking and things like that. And I wanted to break away from this conventional thinking of like, oh, you just got to get a job and like this structure thing. I wanted something more. I wanted something a bit more for myself, and also had a story to share with my community. And so, I keep forgetting. And so this created opportunities for me. It created opportunities. I got a chance to go on podcasts, I got a chance to speak at the inaugural Read Freely Fest as one of the presenters there to read a few of my poems. And as of last week, I got a chance to do Soda City. That was pretty cool to go out here and, you know, pretty much share my story. And so what I need help with is marketing. That's one of the challenges, exposure and building my brand pretty much. And like I said, it's just important to me because, you know, I want to at least be the start of, for my family, to be able to share that you can do, you know, open up ideas of possibilities. You know, you don't have to be structured on one thing. There's a saying that, you know, you can't teach what you don't know and you can't lead where you ain't go. And so that's kind of what I want to do, you know, moving forward, you know, for the following generations and everything. And so I hope that's 6 minutes. That might have been a little less.
Russell's here for all of your input. Yes,
Dr.
Jones.
Go get him.
So, I totally, first off, your presentation was probably one of the best we've seen in a long time, in my opinion.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really. Aside from this guy. I will say that your story is interesting, right? And that's what we need, people willing to come in and be transparent and share that. So with that, what about writing and publishing made you say this is it? What's that moment, other than realizing you had a story? We all have stories, but we all don't take the opportunity to become writers and publishers, right? So what about that moment made you say, this is it, this is what I've been looking for?
Because I knew it was something that would impact others and could be able to assist other people in motivating them to possibly inspire them to take risks and, you know, take a chance on themselves. And I feel like that's important. You know, it's a story, like you said, but when it's a story that somebody else could benefit from, you know, I think that carries a lot of weight. So I knew it was something I could share.
So when we drill down into that a little bit deeper for you, just to be able to understand the basis of what you're doing, right? The emotional impact of what you're doing. And it's more than just what you need.
Yeah.
You're trying to create a business that, I don't want to speak for you, but that opens the birth for people to write and tell their stories in a way?
Right. Well, not only to write, but for anyone who may be on that fence of, wanting to be an entrepreneur or might have a passion that they're just kind of on the fence about, to encourage them. And ideally, what I would like to do is have a company that shares stories about taking risks to like inspire other people to do things,
So it's not necessarily about the writing.
Right.
More so it's a conduit.
Yes.
To taking a risk.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Russ, I like this story. I've done the corporate thing. It sucks. Okay, what I'm going to ask you, what's your income model? And I'm assuming you're going to do this for other authors. How are you going to compensate them? And do you have a percentage in mind? Would you compensate them?
Yes, it will be a yeah. Right. So yes, it'll be a percentage. I'm still like in the infant state. Like this is very early on. I mainly just wanted to present the idea, to see, if I can get any assistance in like marketing and like just because I'm doing everything myself and like it's been a journey in itself, just trying to learn this whole process. Yeah.
All of that you have to just to piggyback, not to be the corporate guy waving flag, but you have to think about that in ahead of time so that you can understand how to actually market if your marketing is going to be effective. So you're asking for help with marketing, and that's good because you're thinking about marketing. But you need to have a roadmap of all of these things, and you don't have to have it all figured out, but you need to have an idea. How much money I need to make to keep this afloat? What does the compensation model look like for bringing in other authors? Am I providing their marketing, right? All of these different things that you need to think through the path, right? We call that the buyer's journey or your client's journey. You need to think through that, but you also need to think through what it looks like for you as a business and as a brand because we can't market what we don't understand.
I got you.
And get into goals. Okay, I'm shut up.
To piggyback on that a little bit about choosing your model, are you going to offer publishing services, therefore people are going to pay you? Yeah, they're going to compensate you. Is it going to be like a partnership model, or is it going to be a traditional publishing model? What you have, Russell, is something, and yes, you have to define your niche. You have to define your offer. But what you have, so you've self-published this book, and I couldn't stop reading it last night. You have a good book. And any one of us can go out and self-publish a book today, probably. Get on the word, put it up to Amazon, publish our book. ChatGPT.
Right.
But very, very few people can publish a good book.
That's right.
So that is the roadmap that you want to sell.
That's right. Well, we do have a lot in common. It's Valentine's Day, but I do charcuterie, so I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
And other things about traveling the world, I love that.
Yes,
So I want to piggyback on what you're doing. Find out what sets you apart from all the publishing. Of course, we know that ChatGPT, AI, and the part about the niche about maybe people that have the story about traveling the world is one niche, and also the culture part. Like she has the niche of coaching people how to publish a book. Because that is one of my dreams, to be able to publish the book about traveling the world, but also my niche about keeping our ancestor dishes alive. So I'm in the market of wanting to publish a book maybe beginning next year, because I do a podcast for people that keep those ancestor dishes alive. So now we have all this content
Mm-hmm.
that we want to put on the book.
Mm.
So like Taylor and you would be my go-to people and to know how to put that on that book publishing.
Right.
So keep doing what you're doing, but finding that niche. And it does take time to find those people that's amazing, like you 3 years, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the young lady that, I think I purchased your book, I think too. So I'm always looking for, and I would like to purchase, but I like homegrown people that has books that we have a bookshelf in our studio for local book writers. So I would love to get one of your books.
Okay, appreciate
But
it.
keep doing it, I know.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Question right back here.
Yes, sir. I know you said writing is just a conduit to taking a risk, but who is the author you think that defines what you're trying to accomplish? And how is it that you can educate the masses based on different authors that you? I know you've had Rich Dad Poor Dad, which Kiyosaki, but who is the author that you think most defines what you're trying to do?
So those books, they were more so like resources I looked into as far as business and things, but as far as like taking risk and things like that, I know one that comes to mind or that I kind of studied was Cheryl Strayed. She has a book called Wild. It was a movie with Reese Witherspoon in it a few years back. Well, she had a backpack in her. She backpacked the Pacific Crest Trail, and that was taking a risk, and and she talked about her story and things like that. So I'm sorry. It was the second part you asked too.
How would you use that and find that to educate those that are trying to, you say, take a risk and
yeah.
How would you educate them more, particularly those that are not, out there like trying to decide what they want to do. You're there at home. They don't want to be in a corporate setting, so to speak, but at the same time, they're not sure what they want to do. But how can you influence and help them decide which way they want to go?
Yeah, I think it's just more so from like examples. Like you can share your story, and like with mine, it was a bit drastic, kind of to the extreme of like completely just going thousands of miles away. But I mean, you'll be surprised like what people get inspired from, like day to day, and anything, for different people is, for different things connect, with them, to make them want to take that chance and take that risk. And this is just my way, and I'm hoping to get other writers and whatever their story might be able to help put theirs out, and that might inspire somebody else with something else. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's say, for example, this is a real life example. So I just recently celebrated 6 years of recovery, and that is, thank you. And so that is something I would want to put into a book. And so would that be like the type of partnership you're looking for? And so what would that eventually result into? Or is like, just walk me through the process of how that would work from author to finished product.
Yeah. So definitely. I mean, congrats on that too.
Thank
but yeah. So let's see. So like I said, I'm still kind of early on, like figuring everything out. But yeah. So I mean, I would pretty much what I have currently right now, and my book is just now. So I'm still kind of like experimenting currently what I have now, seeing what works and what doesn't. So outside of putting it out, we could do different like digital, paperback, audio. Hopefully that's somewhat answering your question. And things like that. Yeah. But just marketing and podcasts, getting on different platforms and things like that. So, yeah.
Have you seeked out a mentor?
Mentor, yeah. Your mentor, yeah. Mentorship. Mentorship. Yeah, tell us.
So as we're talking, I think your target audience isn't necessarily like the extreme backpackers or like that kind of things. I think it's like the people who want to tell their story of doing things differently. Breaking out and shit, like you use your story to be the example of how you can do things differently. I think you are your story is that's your target audience, like people who think like, oh, I came from a small town, or like I've always been told this about me, and like I'm doing something differently, and how can I tell my story? I think that seems to be like the brand of like what you're looking for. And as far as the last question, I think you should use yourself as the guinea pig. I know I've done that lots of times of like, okay, how am I taking my journey from like finding an editor, like the actual publishing, design, formatting, but also like that marketing piece, like getting on podcasts, the news, things like that. Document everything, and that becomes your program to so when you're deciding what kind of like publishing structure you want to do, like you can do the more like for example, I do like book coaching. You can do the more coaching route to teach people how to do it themselves, or you can go like the services route, which I don't recommend, being a one person team doing the services route of like you're doing the editing, the formatting, like things for them. They're paying you to do that. I don't recommend that. but
to what you were saying,
unless you build a team.
So I have been keeping like a database of like people I've been keeping. So I feel bad. I feel like I didn't quite answer your question, but like of contacts of people who I've reached out to, and like just different resources, and kept track of everything. Because like I said, I'm still going through my phase of like just seeing how this turns out and everything. So
and you also can do referral partnerships. So like for example, like okay, you need an editor. I have a list of editors, but there's like a referral process, like you give me like 2% of what you charge, or tack on an extra 2%, and I get my cut from a referral fee. So that's an additional form of income that you can do.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it's just something you said about a good book, and when you can define what does that look like from your perspective. I know you probably don't necessarily want to be like what Taylor is, a book coach. But if you can take somebody's product and just start asking them some really deep questions to make their book a good book, I think that would be a really interesting perspective.
I think here's the, let's go back to the young lady, and I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, Green.
Earle.
Her question. When I come to you and say I want to write a book, where did the services begin, and what do those services look like? And part of what Dad was talking about, how you have to map it out. There are publishers who are going to say, just bring us the finished book. Or not even finished book, but bring us the book, we'll find you an editor, we'll do your design, your cover design, we'll do the marketing for it. There are so many models that what she was asking is, what does your model look like? And to the point you're getting is, I was looking for that quote. I don't know, I'm losing my mind. I thought it was earlier on. Let's bend the corner together and bring new stories to life. There, inside of there, you're talking about taking a risk. And what we did, what you're talking about, your journey of taking a risk began with going backpack or travel. For a lot of writers, it's making that move from being a whatever kind of writer to writing a book. And we hold authors in a different light. So that's the risk of it. Go ahead. Well, let me finish real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, finish.
I think I got it here. I'm working through the thought. So what I'm saying is, to answer Earle's question is, where do you, first of all, not everyone can write a book. Let's start there. It's a waste of time for some folks to write a book. And a good publisher really needs to go, you know what, you might not be, this might not be for you. You might want to take up knitting. And you know, are you offering that, where in the process are you entering in with me as a potential author? Is my book going to be something everyone wants to read? You can be a great writer writing about a subject that nobody really wants to, nobody cares about. The marketability of it. So I'm trying to figure out the services and where you get on there. You know, do you have somebody mentioned network? Will there be editors that understand my kind of writing, which is quirky and stupid and non-professional, as opposed to people who are sticking to every grammatical rule on the planet? You see how I'm walking you through what the steps. Do you have designers,
graphic designers,
that can design the cover and the layout of a book? If you get a chance, George Lewis's damn good advice for people with talent. People with talent. Short book. He's in advertising great. The way he laid his book out, and he laid it out because he was an art director. Just totally, it was like he was on drugs. So anybody else that would have loved, but it flowed for. He made the flow of the book work. Quick, easy read. So there are those things. Those to the point about what you're providing. See, before I can help you as a marketer, I need to know who you are and what you do. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I'm going to draw the parallel to what you're doing and what I do in film. When I work with first-time filmmakers, there's a whole process that they are not aware of when they come to me. All they know is that they want to make a film. Same thing will happen when you get writers. All they know is that they have a story to tell. Now, whether that story is going to be a podcast, a book, an audio book, whatever, they're looking for guidance. And as you go through that process, you have the experience of going through it on your own. That's the same thing that I had, right? I went through it on my own. I found my pitfalls, but these might not be the pitfalls for everyone, but I may be able to help them navigate that road for whatever pitfalls they're going to get into. Your superpower is going to be pulling in the pieces that you have utilized to make your road smooth, right? So whether that's sending them, when they come to you, sending them to Taylor to get some coaching first, right? You might have a manuscript, you see some potential, you send them there to go ahead and get some coaching. Or you send them with someone that can sit down and talk about how to actually word it so that the visual jumps off the pages. Some of those people will have innate talent that just needs a little help being brought out. Some people will not have the talent, and you have to be able to have that conversation and say, you know, when I meet with filmmakers, Derek says I'm too hard on people, but I have that hard conversation with people. Do not waste your, no disrespect, but don't waste your time doing this because you're more suited to do this. Just looking at what you're doing, I see that you're a better producer than you are a screenwriter. So you have the network connections to go ahead and find money, right? To be able to partner with people. So they're looking for guidance that will help them discover themselves and their purpose. And sometimes that purpose is not going to align with what you actually do. You have to be able to have the resources to say, I am not the person that you need to meet with right now. I need you to go and meet with such and such first. Or I want to refer you. And you have to be able to tell them that in a way that's not crushing. Right? Because because what you will find in all of these creative industries is more people that say, oh yes, that's so good. Oh baby, you right. And then when they leave you, they be like, man, that was a hot mess. And I don't want nothing to do with it, but I'm gonna pass it on to somebody. There's a lot of that. So you want to be a breath of fresh air and to have an authentic voice that fosters real relationships. Because that's when you can take risks. You can only take a risk when you feel comfortable enough that when you jump, you know sooner or later that parachute's gonna open.
Russ, first of all, I think you take a page out of Derek's presentation last week. Your presentation hit my heart. I want to know more about you. You got a great story. And when I say I want to know more about you, I want to know what your business plan is. From Thad's point, you have so much opportunity, so so many things you offer. I don't even know where. If I sat with you, I'm like, I don't know where you want to go here and just continue writing books. Do you want to help people coach books? Do you want to publish? There are so many directions you can go. What I think you need to do is sit down and like, what do I really feel passionate about, and where is the money? And tie those two together, and then have a business plan going forward. And then you get with the marketing guy and say, okay, I know who my client is, I know my business plan, let's move. So I'd love to hear you in a few months maybe and say, all right, here's my business plan, this is the direction I'm going. Now help me market, or now help me figure out where my customers are, things like that. But you excite me. I want to go find your book, by the way, so you should put that on your presentation, your book and your link to Amazon or whatever.
Yeah. So he has a book party on Saturday night at, I'm your agent.
She is.
At,
Curiosity Coffee on North Main. Curiosity Coffee bar on North Main.
What time?
It's from 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Oh, cool. I brought the kids over there. Normally on Saturday, by that time it is like 7:30. I'm.
How much is your heard of the Small Business Development Center, SBDC?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Have you ever heard of the Small Business Development Center, the SBDC? They're actually in this building. They're funded in part, actually supported in part by the University of South Carolina. Their services are free, and they're excellent at this. Especially for companies at the conceptual stage, are really good at putting numbers to it, helping you structure it.
Okay.
So that applies to everybody here. They're free, so why not use them? They're good.
Okay.
I don't know what floor they're on.
How much are you for?
14.
Oh.
I don't have a question, I have a challenge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got $1 and a dream. Help me write a book.
That's the name of the book, $1 and a Dream.
No,
That's his pitch.
Okay.
Help me write a book.
$1 and a Dream. Help you write a book.
Explain what you're challenging him for, too.
All right.
Because I don't know.
Life experience. Just anyone in here, your life experience. I want to put that into a book. So all I have is $1. Before you can help me, what are the steps I need to take? How prepared do I need to be when I get to you? So I can spend that $1 wisely.
We bow to you.
We got time for just a few more questions. Any other questions for Mr. Russ?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Right?
I know I came.
I'm everybody's agent
late,
today.
so I didn't get a chance to hear
Liberation
everything.
is
That's
on Instagram.
Are you? I was saying I got here late and I didn't get a chance to hear everything. But it sounds like you were corporate and you felt, hey, there's more in me. I feel like let me go just take a leap and see what's out there. So are you looking to do like a TED talk to motivate people, or are you trying to help people write a book, or Chicken Soup for the Soul? Because I know they had a book like that where people were putting in different experiences in. Are you trying to motivate people to also to take a leap? Like this, everybody might not want to backpack thousands of miles away, but maybe I've been on a journey of writing a book for like the last 7 years. And matter of fact, don't clown me, y'all. This is it right here. Please. It's not much, but are you motivating people to jump? Whatever that is that makes you want to jump.
Yeah, I think that's the overall idea in general, is to inspire and motivate people.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is that they're. Yeah,
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yes.
What? I'm going to go ahead and ask you. What do you, as an author that decided to be a publisher, what does that relationship look like between potential authors coming to you and the publisher? Just your dream. It doesn't have to, because so many publishing companies are taking above 50%. That's why folks self-publish. The author's doing, I get the publishing company does a lot of work. I'm not belong in that. But those rates are hard for people who are just, that's out from my point of view, talk to a publisher and they want it somewhere between 65 and 89%.
That's a lot.
That's right.
I'm working for free.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking at them going, oh no, silly rabbits.
Yeah.
These are for kids, baby. And I'm asking this because as I'm doing my journey and I'm flipping this,
That's right.
the people that, the publishers like, well, we'll help you with marketing and getting people's attention. And I'm like, I'm sorry, do you know who I am?
Right.
What I do for a living. So I don't need that marketing staff, but I'm asking because that for a lot of these folks who would be writing a book, they still need to be able to breathe and live and survive.
Yeah.
And if you start to go with the standard publishing model, I have not heard of any of the big publishers taking less than 50%.
That's right.
I
don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about like traditional publishing model, which is the author gets a royalty of 10%?
No, yes.
Or are you talking about hybrid models where
the traditional?
The traditional model, the author gets a royalty of between 5 and 15%.
Yeah. And that's still for low volume folks. And let's be honest.
I think you might be talking about the hybrid model where you go to them, they say, yeah, I'll publish your book and I'll take net 50% of whatever we earn.
I'm hearing from publishing companies contacting me about writing a book. I'm not sure what their model is.
Yeah.
Hybrid or traditional, they're traditional publishing companies. But the deal they're offering on paper is just no.
Yeah.
I got to eat at the end of the day.
Yeah, if that's like a net 50% share, probably.
So that's the nuts and bolts. I'm just trying to figure out, dialing in on some of that. For why would a person come to you instead of self-publish?
Or are you going to help them self-publish?
Yeah. So it's more, I think, because I've already started or have some blueprint in order to help assist somebody, just because I know how hectic it is. Like I said, it took me 10 years to try to figure all of this out, along with writing. So I feel like I have at least started the groundwork to help somebody who's starting out from nothing, to be able to assist along the, to be able to help them publish their book.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get, and that's, it's funny, I know the answer, but I'm trying to get to it from you because it's there.
Right.
In your story, you talked about taking a risk. You're asking people to take a risk with you. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So think about that as far as your marketing is concerned. What you're inviting folks to do is come take a risk. But the risk isn't as dangerous when you have somebody who already knows this journey, knows this path. What's it like to jump out here? Relate it back to your deciding to quit and just go backpacking. Give folks the courage to do this, or encourage them to find their courage to do this. I'm not gonna say give, because courage is something internal, but that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Or suggesting.
Bob, last question.
Russ, what can 1 million cups do for you?
Well, help brand, help me get the word out, marketing, help commercialize. That seems where my biggest challenge is at the moment anyway, so that'll be a big help.
All right, and then we will have you here next year telling
Yes.
us about what you've
good.
decided to do and how far. Okay, thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we have the room for another half hour or so. So hang or go. See you next week.
Oh, no. Mine went out. Thank you.
Okay. Where'd you get the money to get out? You just step out and
Yeah, it was like if you're one person. Okay, so I was like, I'm gonna do the promotion. Good to see you too.
Oh, yeah. It's like that's a good combo.
Oh yes.
I was that back there going, Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, I met her. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm pleasure meeting you. Pleasure meeting you. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Part of the book
Yes, I met him at the City Poetry Festival last year.
Even group programs together where never know.
Right. And I feel like I still need to hammer down like what I like. Because I've done like, I guess I do like development of everything, which isn't like the wrong. Okay, elaborate on this more. What do you mean here? You repeat this instance, kind of like tightening up the story. So I do that. I do with marketing plans. I think I'm gonna take a page out of. So everybody decided a space isn't what we're not ready for a space right now. So everybody's yes. Yes. No worries. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, you did. When is it again? Okay. I do have something. I can't remember what time I made for it. Okay. But I also do like I can help with the marketing plan, and I want to do like my friend thing, more so that where we have like the outcome, the strategies, and the success. So I'm gonna start.
I really like that perspective.
Yes.
I'm writing my leadership.
Yes.
And I've sort of